Awesome. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
hello everybody. Welcome to the Course Creator Community Podcast. I am super excited because we've got an absolute rock star on the line this week when it comes to the course creator space. A little bit about this person. He's a self-taught entrepreneur. He's a growth hacker. He's a creative tinkerer. He's a proud dad. And most importantly, he's an absolute weapon when it comes to NewZenler. If you're in the NewZenler group, whatever question is asked, this guy knows the answer. He's got a freebie to help you out. You know, he's an absolute master when it comes to NewZenler. So without further ado, let me introduce the one and only Mr. Amit Arora. Amit, how are you?
Hey, Jono, that intro didn't sound like mine. Who? But thank
Whatever.
you for the kind words.
When I think I used to think you worked for NewZenler. You know, the first time I added him, I was looking through the thing. I'm like, Amit, you work with NewZenler, right? I need some support. And he's like,
Yeah,
actually, I don't work for them. And I was like, oh, okay. He just knows everything about it.
yeah, you'd be surprised. I get that so much. So now when people message me, I kind of preface the chat by saying, listen, just so you know, I don't work for NewZenler. I'm happy to help, but if you need more help, just know that I'm not support. So don't come yelling at me if something's not working.
Yes, no, I get that. All right, Amit, I like to start all my podcasts off with a quote or mantra that inspires you or fires you up. Have you got
Awesome.
one for us?
Yes. So my son just started karate
Oh,
and he's 5 and they give him like this, t-shirt and the whole uniform. On the back of his t-shirt is that saying from Bruce Lee. And that's kind of like my go-to, that I'm not afraid of the guy who practices 10,000 kicks, but who practices one kick 10,000 times. And that's really kind of like my motto in life, is just be like a postage stamp. You asked me for one, I'm going to give you two. Yeah, be like a postage stamp and just stay stuck till you get to your destination, right? So that's kind of like my go-to.
yes, love both of those. Are you what's the kick you're focusing on at the moment, Amit?
Just growing my audience, man, and providing value and getting my email list to hopefully double by the end of the year.
Yes, love it. Well, maybe we can help you out there. What's your freebie, Amit? You got a freebie you can juicy up to get some emails off this?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I have a bunch of bonuses and we'll put the links. I'll send you the link, Jono. You can put it in the show notes. Anyone who signs up to through NewZenler, through my link, they get like, I think it's up to like 10 or 11 bonuses now. I lost count.
Wow.
So there's like
Question.
email swipe files in there. There's some audio tracks, like royalty free audio tracks in there. I give you access to a Google Drive that has all this stuff. And then also I have a course that I don't sell. It's only for those people who buy NewZenler through me, which is how do you get started with an online course?
Question, Amit. If someone signs up for the free version of New Zealand, do they get that, or they gotta pay?
They have to be on the pro version, but for
Okay.
your audience, I'm going to put together a page and we'll put some surprise and delight in there for them.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, either way, if you want some tips on, or if you're looking to go for New Zenler, you got to get it through someone anyway. I think you can only sign up through affiliates. Amit's got some bonuses anyway. We'll put the link down there. Amit, I've obviously been following you for a while. If someone's listening to this, they don't know you, they haven't heard of you before. Let us know in a nutshell, what is it you actually do?
Yeah, that's sometimes I ask myself that question. uh, so it all started in 2015. My wife was home because we were having our first child, the one who I just put in karate. And while she was home, this was the first time she stopped working since she was, I think, like 14 years old. So she's sitting home bored. She's on maternity leave. The kid is sleeping all day. She said, what do I do? At this point, we were both general managers for hotels. So I told her, why don't we create a course on how to be a hotel general manager? She said, okay, that sounds good. What do we do? I'm like, I don't know. Let's figure it out. This is 2015. So Teachable was really the big game in the market at that time. So I went to Teachable, learned how to do the whole, you know, how the whole online course creation journey works. What mic do I need? What screen recording software I need? So I had to learn all of that myself. My wife isn't techie. So I created the whole Google Slides for her, showed her how to use it. with my, at that time I had a MacBook, so I used ScreenFlow, and we used to go to either a local library where they had a meeting room, or a local Dunkin' Donut which had a conference room, and that's how we would record, because our house wasn't capable, like we just had too much chaos in the house. So we shipped it out, and lo and behold, crickets. Like, no, I was like, oh my god, everyone's going to want to buy this. But that led me into the journey of online courses. So then I created a few courses on Udemy. One is on how to use ManyChat, how to use Trello. We can hook up your audiences with that too. So I'll, send them a link. They can go try it out. And just stuck with the online course journey. That course that we created as hotel general managers, we sunsetted because there wasn't any traction. But from that avenue, I've kind of been in the online course creation space for 6 years. I don't know, in dog years, that's like 5,000. And just learned everything, not everything, but learned a lot about online courses and how to build them. So I'm more on the integration side now, where I help people in my part, this is all part-time work, how to integrate systems, how to build your system. So, because we can technically have an all-in-one system, but as you and I both know, it doesn't always work well. So that's my part-time story. And then in my full-time job, I work as a Salesforce consultant. So I work
Okay.
for a company called Slalom, which is a skiing term. And they basically sell projects, and they'll have me go and fill in that position to help companies implement Salesforce.
Okay. Love it.
So technical, all sides technical.
Yes. Okay. Well, in the course creator space, that's a good skill to have. What I'd like to speak about in today's podcast, Amit, is NewZenler. So, plenty of different platforms out there. You mentioned Teachable, there's Thinkific, Kajabi, Podia, Learn Worlds, Udemy, so many different options. And NewZenler's one that always comes up, right? It's always in the mix. What I found with NewZenler, and I use NewZenler myself, to preface that, it does have a heavy affiliate side to it. And there's sort of two sides to it. There's some people that are like, yeah, go NewZenler, it's awesome, it's so good. And then there's another side of people that are like, oh, don't listen to these people that are just saying NewZenler. They're just saying it because they want the commission or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. So I thought I'd bring someone on who's an expert in NewZenler. And if you can let us know, Amit, let's start where you want to start for the next sort
Yeah.
of 15, 20 minutes. Just let us know, I guess, why should we, if someone's listening to this and they don't know what platform to choose, why
Sure.
should they choose NewZenler? And then also maybe if someone's on a, and we don't want to rubbish any other platforms, but
Yeah.
maybe if someone is on another platform and there's something they're missing, and you could say, hey, if you are on this platform, it's great, but NewZenler has this. If you want to consider switching, here's what you can do. Am I good just to hand it over to you and start where you want to start and let us know about NewZenler?
All right, let's do it. Yeah. So like I mentioned, I was on Teachable. I'm in the Teachable Facebook group. This guy, Mike, he sent me a messenger. Hey, I'm trying out this new platform called NewZenler, and this is May 2019. So about a little over 2 years ago. I said, okay, send me the link. And I have nothing against affiliates. I think affiliate marketing gets a wrong, like a bad name
Yeah,
because of some of those bad actors, like you mentioned,
yeah,
who just go and promote it because they want to get affiliate commission. So I tried it out. At that time, it was only $337 a year
woo,
for everything that they're giving now, which we'll get to in a second. But it wasn't as good as it is now. It
yeah,
was still a diamond in the rough that they have been polishing. But I was more attracted towards the price point and what
yeah,
the future could hold with New Zenler. So two
yeah,
years, two
yeah,
years in a SaaS world is a lifetime, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I made the leap from Teachable. The other thing that I was curious is, or I was able to take advantage of, is that their support team moves your content for you. If
yeah.
you're on Teachable or Thinkific, they're like, hey, just give us the login credentials. We will do the moving for you. You don't have to lift a finger. I'm like, I'm sold at just at this point.
Because that is the toughest part. Because I've switched over a few times. Even now, there's some software I use, and I know there's better and cheaper out there. But I'm like, oh, if I got to move all of this over there, it's going to take me forever. Nah, I'll pay more and just do the worst version.
Exactly. And if you think about the cost benefit, right? You
Yeah.
pay anywhere between, let's say all the other platforms that you mentioned are
Yep.
anywhere on a spectrum of $49 to $150 a month.
Even more.
Yeah,
Kajabi's full version is, because I need the full version if I'm going to
yeah,
do it. It's $400 a month.
exactly. And you
You pay
take
that here.
NewZenler today, when we are recording this in it's July 2021.
Yeah.
I don't know when our listeners are going to listen to this, but it's $647.
Mm,
That's like for the year. That's not monthly, that's for the
yep.
year.
Yeah.
And for that, you get three separate sites. So some
Yeah.
of the things that I like about NewZenler, one is that so you can have three separate schools.
Yeah.
Now they have made it so you cannot resell those. Because I know some of my creative course creators out there, they're going to be like, I'm just going to resell the other two sites. You cannot do
Ah,
that.
yeah.
So they
Yeah.
have safeguarded against that, which is totally fine. So you have three separate schools, and I'll give you an example. One, I told you I do Salesforce work during my daytime. So I also sell a course on how to become a Salesforce consultant. That's
Mm.
one of my sites. The other site I use just for tinkering around and helping in the NewZenler group.
Oh,
A-
that's a good
And then the
idea.
third site is my templates for those who want to move to NewZenler, but they don't want to build a site from scratch.
Yeah.
My business partner and I have created pre-made templates. We are up to like 75, 80 templates now, I think.
Mm,
So that's the third site. So that's how I am using my three sites.
yeah. But even if someone had maybe two different niches,
Yeah,
maybe it's,
exactly.
let's use fitness as an example. Let's say someone's got a course on fitness, great, but then they've also got another course teaching personal trainers how to get online or whatever it is. If you're
Exactly.
using Teachable, you're probably going to have two different schools for that.
Yes,
NewZenler have the one account, but two different schools inside there.
exactly. So that's one of the features or benefits that I like. Um, it's always what's the feature and what's the benefit. I think that's what I
Mm,
tell every course creator to think about
yeah.
is the feature is great, but how is that going to benefit you?
Mm,
So I like that they have Zoom integration, so
yep.
you can run webinars or live classes right from your NewZenler school, and you don't need to have a Zoom subscription.
Mm,
You can do it because they have paid for the enterprise subscription, so you get up to 300 attendees, or I should say 300 registrants
mm.
that can register for a Zoom webinar. For most people, that
Yeah.
never really happens.
Yeah. I wish.
Yeah. And even if you have 300 registrants, how many are really going to show up? Maybe
Yeah.
like
A third if you,
10%.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but you have that option. And what I love is the live class feature where you can restrict your Zoom to maybe you're selling two different flavors of your course, right? One is with monthly coaching calls and one is without monthly coaching calls. So you can restrict to just those people who have signed up for a
Mm.
specific class, and only those people can register for the Zoom. So that's another good one. Marketing funnels, they give you 100 marketing funnels. I've
Well, let's spend a minute there, because the way
yeah,
I look at the core side of things, there's almost a line down the middle, which I think is important for people starting off,
yeah,
where I feel you've got platforms like Teachable, Thinkific, which are great for hosting the course, but has sort of let you down a little bit on the marketing funnel side of things. Usually, not always, but usually if you've got Teachable or Thinkific, you may also need to get a ClickFunnels or something
yeah,
like that for the cart side of things. Then on the other side, you've got Kajabi, you've got NewZenler. I think Podia is
yeah.
like that as well, where they have the funnels as well. Do you want to spend a minute there and maybe let us know, maybe if you compare Teachable and NewZenler, because I know you're very familiar on both, just
Yeah.
from the marketing side though.
Yeah. So when I was using Teachable, I was really not using marketing funnels at all.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have it, but when I moved to NewZenler, I was using WordPress and I was using Thrive themes and all Thrive suite of products, which is great, but you always have to update them. There are times where my pages, because I don't know if there was some script on the page or something, it just stopped working. Like it works for the front end, but I cannot load it to make any new changes. With NewZenler, it's the same concept. You create a marketing funnel. You can either create a lead magnet funnel, which is traditional, everyone uses it. My favorite is the video marketing funnel. I think I might have seen you use it one, but I'm not sure. So you can create up to 10 videos, and NewZenler does the whole locking, unlocking thing for you. So let's assume that someone has created a 10 video funnel. You send it to your email list, they go to the funnel page, they'll see your first welcome video or day one video. Then the next video, they'll see at the bottom 9 other thumbnails, but they can't click on it till day two. So
Mm,
every day a new video unlocks, which is great if you're running a 3 day, 5 day, 7 day challenge, and every day you want to drop a new video, you just use the video marketing funnel.
mm,
And within those funnels, you can add as many pages as you want. So kind of like click funnels, right? You go from one page to another, to another, to another.
mm.
You can do the same thing with NewZenler. And
Yes.
I think today's day and age, it's table stakes, but again, they have a drag and drop builder. You just drag the element on the page, resize it, design it for mobile, design it for computers or desktops, and then you can play with the responsiveness.
Yes, love it. Okay, what about Amit? Now I'm interested here. So I use NewZenler, right, for the course creator community,
Yep.
but I do probably prefer Kajabi. If they were even, if they were priced the same, I would take Kajabi. The reason why I've gone with NewZenler is if I went with Kajabi, it would be 400 a month. I
Yep.
got NewZenler for about 450 a year, which is still a pretty
Yeah.
good deal. You know,
Yep.
even now at 650, it's good. That's part of the reason how they got me as well. They were like, hey, it's 450 a year now, you know, but it's going to increase in the future. But if you get on now, you stay at 450. I'm
Yep.
like, man, it's worth the gamble. Even if it
Absolutely.
sucks, you know, it's worth
Yeah.
me it's worth me gambling for 450.
Yeah.
You know, I keep it for the year. It's a backup plan. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Whereas
Exactly.
Kajabi at 400, I'm like, I just can't justify it. And actually, we'll spend a minute beforehand, then I'll get you to answer that question there. The thing with I think with platforms like, because I think Kajabi does have an entry level at $100 or something like that, but it's just so limited. It's
Hmm.
like, you can only have certain amount of courses and certain amount of funnels that, you sign up on that. Oh, yeah, it's only $100. It's not too bad. But then before too long, you're on 200, then you got to go on 300. And then similar with like Thinkific and Teachable, you
Yep.
can start off at 40, $50, but it's one course or limited students or whatever. That's what I like about New Zenler. It's like, hey, 450 and you get everything. Or
Yeah.
now whatever it is now, $60 a month. You look
Yeah.
at it and you're like, well, look, I can get Teachable for $50 a month. Yeah, but you don't get everything on Teachable for $50 a month, you know?
For one site. For one site.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm curious, Amir. Have you used Kajabi much?
I have not,
Okay.
but I have looked at their pricing plan a lot because I usually do a comparison video between
Yep.
NewZenler, Thinkific, NewZenler, Kajabi. Here's what my takeaway with it is, it's an amazing platform.
Yep.
They know who their target audience is. Their target
Yeah.
audience is course creators who are making at least 5 to 10 grand a month because they
Yeah.
can afford the $400
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah.
But because I come from a more technical side, I'm okay with sometimes patching things up
Yep.
instead of going in with an all-in-one platform. Although NewZenler is an all-in-one platform, just like Kajabi.
Yeah.
So where Kajabi beats NewZenler in my mind is I would call it the sexiness of the platform, right?
Yeah. It
It has
looks
the
nicer.
pre-built funnels and it has
Yeah.
the whole templates and stuff. And yeah, NewZenler can look good, but that need depends on the creativity of the course creator.
Yeah.
So they haven't put time into that imagination which
Yeah.
Kajabi has, but they're doing it. They
Yeah.
already have pre-built templates for webinars and marketing funnels. Now they're going to start doing that for courses. And shameless plug, my one of my sites which I mentioned, ZZ Templates, is about that. But I see that and the whole aspect of viewing the customer journey, maybe Kajabi does a better job than NewZenler.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I do want to touch on, in the beginning, you had mentioned about the affiliate thing,
Mm.
and you can attest to this. I am very surprised, almost shocked, that in the NewZenler community, not a single person ever drops a link. They will
Yeah.
tell you the benefits.
Yeah.
They're all passionate affiliate marketers about
Yeah.
NewZenler
Yeah.
as much as they are about creating online courses.
Yeah.
But it's obviously against group rules, but you know how people still try to get sneaky.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone drop a Fiverr link or a affiliate marketing link. Never. I don't know. they're really strict with that. Excuse me, my virtual assistant was in there, and I told him, hey, make sure you answer a few questions. And he's young, he's 22, he wasn't sure what he's doing. So he dropped a link here and there and they kicked him out. They're like,
Oh,
sorry.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're very, and when I was in the group funnels or click funnels or group, people will just start PMing you. I
Mm,
haven't noticed that here either. I don't get a single PM from anyone unless they want my help. That I
yeah,
get quite a bit, but
yeah,
no
yeah.
one is ever trying to sell me anything.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think that's got some pretty good reasons for people to check out NewZenler. If you're going to do it, head over to Amit's link. We'll put it in the show notes. What about Amit, the people that are already on NewZenler? I believe you help them with bits and pieces with your themes and that sort
Yeah.
of things there. Someone's listening to this, they're already on NewZenler. What sort of stuff can you help them with?
Yeah, so we have a website, Zenler Ninjas, without the whole using the word Zenler, because I don't want to get in any legal troubles. So it's ZNLR Ninjas, and we do things like site migration. So I'm helping a amazing gentleman right now. He's a pilot. He used to be a pilot for American Airlines. He's 7 years old, Jono, and he's doing this now.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
you and I and our listeners have no freaking
Yeah.
excuse, man.
Yeah.
So he's moving from Kartra. So we
Yep.
are helping him with the whole site migration. So we can do that, move people from Wix, from WordPress, or we have this woman who's in Florida and she does this thing called applique. I didn't even know what the heck applique was, but it's like embroidery kind of
Okay.
thing. And she said, I don't have a website. So we built her website from scratch for her. So we do everything from site migration to user migrations to build from scratch to connecting your NewZenler site with systems that are outside of NewZenler. And then a lot of people do just one-on-one coaching with me where I do a whole funnel mapping where I'll ask them questions more along the lines of, okay, what products do you have? How are you marketing it? And then we find the best way for them to get better at what they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
One
Basically,
of the things that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no, no,
off,
yeah, you go.
that I forgot to mention that Kajabi, when we were talking about Kajabi, is the email marketing aspect too.
Okay.
That NewZenler comes with the built-in email marketing. First, when they came out, it's still the same 100,000 emails a month. So think about it. If you have a 10,000 user list, well, if you have a 10,000 user list, you should have ConvertKit or
Mm.
something
Yeah,
with
yeah.
all the bells and whistles. But if you have NewZenler, then you can send 10 emails a month to your 10,000 email list.
Mm.
Or if you have 1,000 email list, you can send 10,000 emails. So do the math, but you get 100,000 emails a month that renew every month. And you also can do something called domain authentication now, which means instead of going through NewZenler's servers, they will go through your email servers. So if your email servers are hosted with a better hosting, then you have a better chance of landing in people's inbox versus maybe NewZenler emails go in their promotions tab or other tab or whatever.
Yes, agree.
So
Awesome.
that's another expense you cut down, right? If you don't have to pay for Zoom, you don't have to pay for marketing funnels, you don't have to pay for email marketing, you don't have to pay for hosting your
Mm.
videos or hosting your site because you can create a full-fledged site on NewZenler. You've basically cut down all those costs.
Yes, agree. And
Yeah.
I'll say it again. If anyone's got any questions about Zenler, Amit's your man to speak to. I'll put all the links down in the show notes. Amit, there's a couple questions I like to always finish up with. One of them revolves around mentors. So you're obviously a mentor out there now for plenty of online course creators.
Mhm.
I'm curious to hear who your biggest mentors have been. And if you could answer this in a few different ways, if you could
Yeah.
give us, well, I'll give you three options or three different ways. So if
Okay.
you could give us a paid mentor, so someone that you've paid money to, you've done their course, their coaching program,
Yep.
an unpaid mentor, so you haven't paid money to them, but you follow them on social media, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is,
Yep.
and then a book that you recommend every course creator should read. What
Okay.
can you tell us there?
All right. So first, I'll go with paid mentor. That's easy. No one. I don't know. I like consuming content, but I just haven't found a course. Maybe you can change my mind that will really help me shift my thinking. I'm always up for learning. So haven't really found something yet. So when I look at buying something, I look at if I'm going to buy a course or online learning, whatever, right? Mainly a course or something like Tribe. Stu McLaren's
Yep.
Tribe is always talked about.
Yep.
Am I willing to do the commitment? I'm okay
Yeah.
with the money, but am I willing to put in the time commitment?
Yeah.
Because when you and I were trying to schedule this podcast, you can
Yeah.
see my time is so limited, right?
Yeah.
I want our listeners to kind of take that with a grain of salt and remember that that's the only resource that we're never going to get back.
Yeah.
One of my clients I was talking to, her name is Lynn. She's a violinist, and she is telling me, Amit, should I buy this course? I was like, absolutely not. You have
Mm.
all the workings of a great course for yourself.
Yeah.
I need you to focus on that. She's like, okay, I have a coaching call in 30 minutes and they're going to try to sell me. I was like, if you come back and tell me that you bought that course, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah.
But again, that's my thinking. If you have any recommendations for a good paid mentor, I would love to pay someone who can bring me to the next level. But my
Mm.
only hesitancy is the lack of time.
Mm.
And I know I want to take that leap of not working full time, quit
Yep.
my full time job once I have a figure in mind that I reach for my monthly salary.
Yeah.
Once I can replace that easily. And unfortunately, in US, you have to think about healthcare because
Yeah.
healthcare here sucks. And
Yeah.
so it was a long answer, but yeah, so far, no
Okay.
one. For the other one, which is a free or unpaid mentor, YouTube, I just
Yeah.
go there. I follow Income School, which is an amazing channel for bloggers, and Beckler. He just puts out value content every single time. He'll be very honest and upfront. Listen, I'm going to promote this course, but this course has changed my life and it's an affiliate link, but I'm going to promote it. And if you like it, you can go check it out. And
Yes.
then,
I'll give. I'll
oh,
just. I'll jump in there for a sec.
yeah.
Check out Amit's YouTube channel as well. I remember now when I was checking out NewZenler, I was like, oh, this looks good, but is this a scam? It looks too good to be true. So I jumped on Google or YouTube, and it was your video that got me over the line. I didn't use your affiliate link because then I posted somewhere else, and one of
Sure.
my friends had it and went there. But it was
Yeah.
that video where I'm like, you know what? I think it's when you were comparing it to Kajabi. I was like, you know what? This guy's got a point. I'm going to do it. Hey, any of my friends got a NewZenler link? Oh, you do? Yeah, I'll go with that there. So I recommend checking out Amit's channel too.
It's funny you mentioned that. Thanks for bringing that up, and I appreciate the plug. But I have received messages from quite a few folks who say, "Listen, I was so skeptical about New Zenler,
Yeah,
but your video changed my mind." So
yeah,
I'm happy that I'm making that impact
yeah,
because I know a lot of people just make videos to promote the products, even
yeah,
if they don't use it.
yeah.
So one of my most viewed videos is when Groove. You've heard of Groove Funnels? It
Yep,
was the
yep.
latest. I call it an MLM scam, but some people think it's a real product.
Yeah,
But so I first heard about Groove Funnels on the podcast that I used to like. Um, it's two guys who promoted Thrivecart like crazy. I forgot their name now. Uh, so I heard it on their podcast, and I like those guys. And thought Groove Funnels is the real deal when I heard them talk about it. Obviously, that was shame on me. But I was really contemplating spending the $1,300 for Groove Funnels when it first came out. I went in their Facebook group, all the buzz going on at the time during launch. I asked like a couple of questions. The moderator just, it was everything is moderated. So the point being, on my YouTube channel, I only promote products that I believe in. So the most watched video on my channel is Groove Funnel Sucks.
Wow,
And
wow.
that's one of the videos because I went the complete opposite direction. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
everyone is promoting Groove Funnels. I'm going to tell the truth about what Groove Funnels is because they can't moderate this. They can
yeah.
moderate my Facebook comments in their group, but they can't moderate my YouTube video. So that's one thing. Yeah, thank you. So I try to keep my YouTube channel lean where I'm not blabbing much, unlike a podcast where I just can't stop talking.
Yeah. But that's the difference between the two, right? It's
Yep.
like if I want strict info, I go to YouTube. I want to find
Yep.
something, the quicker the better. What's the shortest video I can find that tells me if this thing is good or bad?
Exactly.
Whereas on a podcast, I want something long, 5 minutes, and I've got
Hmm.
to find another freaking thing to listen to. Give
Yeah.
me something that I can just put on for 35, 45 minutes and drive or go to the gym or sleep to or whatever,
Exactly.
But
So
okay,
the
book.
third one you have asked is the book.
Yep.
The one I just finished reading is Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson.
Oh,
Even though I won't buy ClickFunnels, I just love the content this guy puts out.
yeah.
Just giving away knowledge. So I just finished reading that, and that's one I would definitely recommend.
One of my favorites. It's almost, I feel that book, and it's funny, that's probably the most recommended book on this podcast as well,
Oh,
because I asked
funny.
this question to everyone. And I feel like that book is almost, he's a step-by-step how to create a course, and I
Yeah.
feel like I've done courses where I've paid someone $5,000 and the info isn't as good as what's in that book. And that's another discussion, because I think a lot of people will you can buy the book for free plus $7 shipping or something, So I think a lot of
Yeah.
people buy it and don't read it or implement it or anything. But if you buy that book and you implement it, and the other thing with that, it's almost like a textbook,
Yeah.
like you can read it, but if
Exactly.
you read it and actually implement it and do the exercises, it'll take you 3 months to read that book. Not
Easily.
because it's a long book, just because it's so much good stuff in there that you action. And have you read Traffic Secrets by any chance?
Yeah. So I have Traffic Secrets. I still haven't got to .com secrets, but I think I already know most of the .com secrets.
Yeah. I don't like the .com one.
Okay.
I bought it first just because I'm a Russell Brunson. I've got a ClickFunnels shirt on, as you can see.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And same thing. I don't love I use ClickFunnels software just because I'm sucked in. I've got about 1,000 funnels in there,
Oh my
so
God.
it's just like, I can't change him now, So he got me good, but but I like him as a marketer. And I bought the book. Oh, Russell Brunson. I read .com Secrets. It was all right. Wasn't bad. Good book. But then I read, and I wasn't even going to get Expert Secrets. I'm like, his first book was all right. Then I read it and I was like, wow, that is a good book. And then Traffic Secrets, I bought it the day it came out. I bought the Kindle version because they wouldn't ship it to Australia. It was sold out or whatever. Then I bought the full version.
Yeah.
And I believe Traffic Secrets is the best book I've ever read for marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely, I mean, the value that he gives you, and of course it's not free, but who would give their book for free, right? I expect people to make money off their products.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you how much more value you could get if you join his mastermind, right? It's like 25K a month or 100K a month or something. So if you're at that level, absolutely. But it's a great start. I actually bought Traffic Secrets and Expert Secrets and shipped it to my virtual assistant in India because you talked about mentor. I didn't have one. So I started kind of late in the game, I think, in 2015 when I was first getting started. So he's 22. I got started when I was like 31 or 32 or something. So if I can give him that extra kickstart, I can imagine where people like him could go. Because I was watching one of Russell Brunson's YouTube video, and this kid was 13 or 14-year-old, and he's freaking talking about on whatever his conference, I forget the name of his
Funnel
conference.
Hackers.
Yeah. He was on Funnel Hackers and he's talking about building funnels at 13. I'm like, dude, like it's insane. But yeah, I like every piece of content he puts out there.
Me too.
So speaking of which, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I saw that on your profile picture, you are with one of the celebrities. How does that happen?
Gary V?
Yes.
Well, it's let me try and think how to do this. So long story short, I paid him for that photo. Right.
Okay.
So he came to Australia and he doesn't come, he's American, he doesn't come to Australia much. And there's different sections, where you to give a conference. There were different speakers. He was the main one there. There weren't any other big names, but it's the same company. They brought Grant Cardone over once. They bring Tony Robbins over.
Yep.
All those big speakers. They come for a day to give a talk. And there were different seats. You can get in for $50, and then you sit in the middle. It's $100, $150. You sit up the front. It's $300-$400. Then there was the ultimate one. It's like you sit up. No, then there was another one which was $500. You're in the front row and you get a lunch break, and they get the people to talk at lunch or whatever. Then there was another one for $800, and you also got the photo with Gary V. And that was the only difference. It was like an extra $300 or something, just to get the photo with Gary.
Yeah.
It was, I think, $500 for everything, or
Yeah.
800 plus a photo with Gary. And I
Okay.
was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And my friends thought that was crazy. They're like, you paid $300 for a photo with another bloke. What's wrong with you? But I'm like, nah, you know
Oh
what?
my
Like, I
God.
want to meet him. He's one of the top entrepreneurs in the world. Even if I just get a few seconds with him, I think that'll be cool. And even just, I'm a big energy guy as well. I feel like just being in that presence, just shaking his hand, being around him, I feel there's a bit of energy going on there. But also I thought leverage. And it has worked, like even that question there,
Yeah.
I know there's people that only added me as friends on Facebook because I've got a photo with him there,
Yeah, exactly.
they're probably like, who's this guy trying to add me? Oh, Gary V, he might be a somebody. Let me add him, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, anything like that. It's a good conversation starter as well. And also because like a lot of people respect Gary V. So it's almost like if they see you in a photo with him, they're like, oh, I like Gary V. This guy, there's instant rapport. It's like, I like Gary V. This guy likes Gary V. Okay, we got something in common. Yeah, I might connect with this guy. So yeah, long story short, I paid a lot of money for that photo, but it is one of the best investments that I've made, I'll say.
Absolutely. Yeah. You probably have it plastered all over your website and whatnot.
Yep. It's like 4 years old, that photo, on
That's
my
funny.
Tinder, I've got it, it's just like people probably match me on Tinder. They think I'm Gary
Oh
V,
my God.
So yeah, I wish
That's
anyway.
funny. So one more question I had for you. You obviously use NewZenler, you use ClickFunnels, you've been around the block for a while.
Yep.
You have an amazing Facebook group and you keep it engaged, which is amazing. What's kind of like your go-to tool? Just like one tool that you use on a daily basis that you can't live without.
Ooh. Can I use Facebook as that tool? And I'll go into a bit more detail on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. For me, it's Facebook. Like and I'm a Facebook group guy. Like that's what I do, Yeah. And I've actually got 2 Facebook groups because the course creator community is actually my side business. So my main business is fitness education online. That's actually got 15,000 people in that Facebook group there. It's the largest Facebook group in the world for fitness professionals.
Nice.
And then even before that, I used to run a fitness boot camp, very successful one. And my retention was always really good. Like if a client came in, they would just be part of the community and they would stay forever, a face-to-face boot camp.
Yep.
But the reason my face-to-face boot camp was so successful was because of my Facebook group. I had a like if you joined up for the boot camp, you also joined this Facebook group. And I used to suck at Facebook group. Actually, no, I'll tell you the full story. How much time have you got? You got another 5 minutes?
I got time, man.
Okay.
Kids
I know it's
kids
9
have been
p.m.
to
in
bed,
Dallas.
so I'm good.
Okay, cool. So this is what happened to me. So I was running a fitness boot camp, right, at a franchise in Australia.
Yep.
There were 74 different franchises all over Australia and New Zealand, and you were ranked on how good you were based on your retention. 1 being the best, 74 being the worst. When I started, take a guess what you think I was ranked.
74.
74, exactly, dead last, right? And I had to have a meeting with the franchise owners who owned all 74 boot camps. They were like, Jono, what's going on? There was a whole heap of stuff that I was doing wrong. But one of the major things is they're like, Jono, your Facebook group is dead. What's going on? I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? Out of all the things going wrong in my fitness business, what the hell has my Facebook group got to do with anything?
Yeah.
They're like, well, look, we've actually found that the better your Facebook group is, the better your retention will be, the longer your clients will stay, the better results they'll get, the more money you'll make, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, a Facebook group's not going to help your business. You guys don't know what you're talking about. They're like, well, Jono, you're coming 74th out of 74 and we own all 74. Maybe we know something you don't. And I was like, yeah, okay, good point. So then I put effort into that Facebook group and I saw it. My numbers just people got so much closer. They engaged in the group. They stayed in the boot camp for longer. Once they came, they didn't leave. And then I'd even have people pay just to stay in the group. This is back in 2012, before any online fitness stuff, online courses, anything. There were people there were 2 clients specifically I remember. They were like, hey, Jono, we can't make the sessions. We're working out of town for the next month. We can't make any sessions. But can we still pay you just to be part of the Facebook group? Because we like the support, we like the challenges, we like the environment. Is that okay? I'm like, yes, please. Less work and same amount of money. Yes. So, from there, I was like, all right, cool. This Facebook group's a thing. when I started my online course business, I was like, you know what? Online, even if it was face to face, I still needed a Facebook group. If I'm going to run an online business, I need to build a community there. So I
Yep.
built that community, fitness education online, grew to that. Then staying with the course creator community, got to a point. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting pretty good at creating courses and selling them. Let me start a Facebook group just for course creators and focus on the community in there. So
Mhm.
that's my daily tool. I'll go on Facebook. I don't even check my own feed most of the time. I'm just like, all right, what's going on in this group? What's going on in this group? Let me ask some questions. Let me answer some questions. Let me see what's going on in the groups, and that's sort of everything because it hits my social side of things. I can say some jokes in there. I can have some fun, build some relationships. I can make some sales in there. I can help some people. So I can put content in there. I feel if I just had one thing, one tool, yeah, Facebook groups, I
Yep.
could do whatever I want. I could market, I could sell, I could run a business, I could do the admin,
Yeah.
like everything in there in the Facebook group. So
Yeah.
same
I
question,
agree.
same as you, yeah.
Oh yeah, same question for me. If the yeah, Facebook groups, hands down. I mean, just from the NewZenler group, it's a small group, right? It's 6,000 people.
Yeah.
So since you asked, do you have time? I'll tell you the whole story.
Here we go.
So when I first started out affiliate marketing, that's really kind of like my bread and butter with NewZenler. Uh, in addition to my full-time income from my company, is getting people to sign up using my links so I get commission. And when I first started, I started with Teachable. Then I looked up on JV Zoo for some products like woodworking secrets or something. And I was like, how do I do this, man? Like it's so complicated. So I would go in the Teachable group and someone would ask, question about Teachable. I dropped a link once or twice. Even the Teachable owner at the time, before they sold it to Hotmart, was in there, Ankush or Ankur Nagpal. And
Mm,
even he did like a sad face to my link, like, dude, that's not cool.
yeah.
I was like, how the heck do you do this? Like,
Mm,
why is this so hard? Well, Russell Brunson talks about this, but he's not the one who taught me this. I taught myself after being booted from multiple Facebook groups. I was like, okay, when NewZenler started and I was invited to the group, I'm like, I'm going to be the guy who answers every freaking question
yeah.
and I don't want anything in return. And
Yeah. Love
since
it.
May 2019, that's what I've done. I have built so much equity
Yeah.
in that one Facebook group
Yeah.
that it has paid in spades, where
Yeah.
now people, if I drop a comment, they know that I have done my research before I've
Yeah.
answered them the
Yep.
question, or I know the platform so well that 95% of the time I answer the question without even thinking. I'll be like, okay, go here, click in the top right, then click this, then do this, because I'm in the software day in and day out.
Yeah.
But that's what our listeners should learn from this is any community you hang out in, just be the person who helps everyone
Mm,
without expecting anything.
yeah.
I've got like 5,000 or 4,000, $3,000 clients
Wow.
because they see me helping in the Facebook group and they want that extra white glove service, and
Yeah.
they're willing to pay for it, and they know that you're knowledgeable because you're the one who's living that product day in and day out, whether it's NewZenler, whether it's online fitness, whatever it is. Show them what you got and don't expect anything in return.
Wow, love it. I feel that's the best part of the whole podcast. Like he put that in there, but it's an awesome way to do it. If anyone's listening to this, just do that, and it circles back to the start of the podcast as well.
Yep.
Pick that one group, right? Pick your one skill set, and then just answer every freaking question in that one group with that one skill set. You'll get known as the go-to person. Look, it might not be, next week where you get
Yep.
known as the go-to person, but any of those sort of, black hat strategies are probably going to get you booted anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you could have put your link there, but you're going to get booted. Maybe you could have DM'd the person and sent them a link, but then they will tell the group admin and then you'll get booted again, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So whereas that way is consistent, it's going to work all the time, every time. So, Amit, that's all we got time for today.
Awesome.
Is there anything I should have asked you but didn't, or anything you would like to finish us off with?
I think you asked pretty much everything that I expected you to ask. Finishing off, yeah, I would just go back to where we started. practice those 10,000 kicks. I mean, practice one kick 10,000 times. Now, in the spirit of Olympics is about to start in 4 days from when we're recording, or whenever people are listening. Make a guess, Jono, how many hours an Olympian has to practice to get to Olympics?
Oof, what, in their life?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'll give you three options:
okay.
5,000, 8,000, or 10,000 hours.
10,000.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that they have to practice and hone their skill for at least 10,000 hours
Mm,
to get to the point that they are.
yeah.
And we as course creators expect that as soon as we open the doors, sales are going to come flying
Yeah.
in. It takes time. I would just say be patient and
Yeah.
keep at it.
Yeah. And especially for the long term game. You know, it's like
Yes.
if you want to be in it for the long term, you know, Amit mentioned earlier building his list as well. You know, it's like if you can have that list there, that's that's money forever. It's a community forever. It's an asset, you know, and it's like, okay, you might not make thousands of dollars tomorrow, but if
Mhm.
you've got that list, you nurture that list, you've got that relationship, you know, that can bring you money for the rest of your life. So I think
Yep.
that's important there. But hey, Amit, I'll leave you to it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Jono.